Okay, to get started using the x-carve, you need to make an account in an Easel. Easel will be the program you use to actually create and make your images or signs. To do this, go to Safari, and you'll see this page. You'll type in inventables.com, and here's the website. Give you a moment to look at that to get it typed in. And go to inventables.com. And if you notice here at the top, it has the x-carve, Carvey, and Easel. Easel is a program you want, so click the Easel tab. And you'll need to launch the app. So we'll click on that. And you're going to sign in through Inventables, and you'll actually make an account right after you sign in. And you can see here's my information. Please don't use that. It won't do you much good, but so we'll delete that. So what you want to do is click I am a new customer for your first time. Put in your email, name, and choose a password. I'm going to go ahead and put that on a returning customer. And we will continue. First thing you want to do is you want to rename or name your project. If you notice over here on the side, I have a bunch of projects I've got already logged in here. Go over here to start a new project, and it'll come up with this page. You'll go to where it says Untitled, and go ahead and rename your project. In this case, we'll just make a sign that says OP Crane, and I'll spell it correctly. So we'll click Rename. And you notice I have the project named right here. Your next step is to set the board size. So whatever the board size is of your project, you want to put that in here under the X, Y, and Z coordinates. So your X will more than likely be your length. We'll go ahead and set that to 14. Hit Tab. Our Y, if we got a 10-inch wide board, that'll be 10 inches. And your Z axis is how thick your board is. And you want to set that one as accurately as you can. So if your board ends up being, let's say, 13/16 thick, you'll want to go ahead and put in 13/16. And it'll automatically put that in decimal form. Alright, your next step after you set the board size is to set your material. If you notice it says up here birch plywood, that's the default, and you can put in aluminum, ABS plastic, or what other materials you have. Pick a wood that's very similar to your project, whether it be walnut, hard maple, soft maple. If it's a very dense wood, use hard maple. If it's fairly soft wood, not very dense at all, you can pick soft maple. We'll go ahead and click walnut so we can see what's happening. So click that and click off, and there you see our board. You kind of get an idea of what that will look like. After that, let's go ahead and make our project. We'll go up here to the text sign, text tab, and they have a few texts to use. A little bit of cursive here. Something neat. Let's go. I like this one. It looks a little more handwritten. So type in our text. And now you can manipulate the text. You can move it around on your board. And if you notice over here, you can see it, what it's going to look like on our board. And you can zoom out a little and see just how this is going to look. You can make it larger or smaller. Now if you want to bring a picture in, it has some icons. Click the Icons tab. We're moving a little bit slow today. There's our icons. And wouldn't you know it, down here at the very bottom, we have a really nice saw blade. Let's go ahead and use that saw blade. So we will move that saw blade up here. And I can click on OP Crane and move this. If you notice over here, it says the current bit is too large to carve some of this design. You need to make sure that your design is fairly simple for your size bit. If you click on the bit size, you can range anywhere from 32nd on up to 1/8 of an inch, or click Other and specify a different size. Most of the time, an 1/8 inch works well. Sometimes you need to go a little bit smaller. So we'll try the 16th. And that's still a little bit too big. Try 32nd, and that will work just fine. Another way to get around this is to make the image bigger. So we click back to 1/8 of an inch. When we click on it, we can actually make our image bigger and hopefully get rid of that. Once we have it large enough, that warning will go away. Okay. So once you've selected your image, this is the way I want it to look. We'll change our bit size a little bit smaller. You need to set your depth of cut. To do this, anytime you click on your image, you can set the depth. And this is how deep it's going to cut into the wood. So our board is 13/16 thick. If I set it all the way to the bottom, if you notice down here, it will cut all the way through our project. In this case, we have found that most of the time 30 thousandths of an inch will make for a really nice sign. So 0.03. And make sure it gets all of it. Now you notice the image looked like it disappeared. It didn't. It's just very light in color. And we'll get that very center. So now, this is not going to carve very deep. Our saw blade won't, but our text is still set at 325 thousandths. We'll go ahead and set that. Now you can also change if you want it to be outlined or filled. So let's go ahead and leave this at 0.4 for the moment. So here's our outline settings. We can go on the path. We can go outside or inside. We'll go outside. And this will leave the actual center of the letters sticking out, or you can click fill and it will cut everything. So we'll leave that and set it to 0.03. And now you are ready to carve. Make sure you check with your teacher before you start.